Hello, everybody. My name is Clarence Napier, the multi state insurance broker, and I'm also the CEO of Strategic Consulting Experts based in Atlanta. Today is May 20th, 2026, and I needed to do this episode. I really needed to do it because a lot of people that I'm meeting, either formally as potential clients and new clients, or informally just listening to what they are saying about their business. And of course, I read a lot of things in the news. I see a lot of people posting stuff on these social media platforms. And I just see the behavior of people who have these businesses, especially white collar businesses, where the sales price is $1,000 and up per transactions. And I'm primarily talking about attorneys, CPAs, dentists, plastic surgeons, real estate brokers and agents, financial planners. Let's see what else. Floor tilers, not just white collar, but blue collar workers or business owners who sell big ticket items like home renovation. I mentioned tilers, plumbers, electricians. And what I am seeing is the title of this episode: people are closer than they think. But what they need to do is not just think about it, they need to do it. And I know that sounds cliche-ish, like just do it, the Nike ad, but it's true. But I understand the dilemma that people are in psychologically. It's like this image, if you're watching this image on Spotify. And by the way, our episodes will be on video on iTunes. But if you're looking at this image, and I'll make sure I put the image so that it reflects on the podcast on all these platforms. If you look at this image, basically the top part is this guy chipping away at something that he wants. And then right when he gets close to what he's looking for, it looks like he's looking for diamonds. And it could be anything, any goal that you're trying to achieve. It could be stopping to smoke. It could be weight loss. It could be relationships. It could be money. But right when he gets to the end, and this is the second part, he walks away, and he was that close. Now for business, this happens all the time. In fact, I'll be honest with you, there needs to be a third part above the part chipping away. And with that third part that would be above the guy chipping away is people are not even chipping away. They're kind of like standing there with the chisel or with the axe, and perhaps the axe is still in the package. It's still in the box. It's still at Home Depot. And you're walking by it and you're looking at it and you're like, yeah, I could use this axe to start chipping away at my goal, but that would require me to do something. It would require me to get the axe, open the box, and then start using it. And that's where most people are. Most people or business owners, they are reluctant to start chipping away, but they're thinking about it. And I just want to tell you a story about 10 years ago. 10 years ago, I was living in California, and right now I'm in Georgia, and I go back and forth to California because I still have some real estate interests out there, and of course family. But I remember it was like 10 or 12 years ago when I first started the consulting firm, and I had not returned to the insurance business. Now, I spent 8,000 hours writing the sales system, which I call selling without appearing to sell. or SWAS. And the business name was 321 Biz Development LLC in California. And, I had already used it. I already started making money with it. I had already started training insurance agents and real estate agents, and I had a few CPA clients. I had 3 dentists that were clients. And all of a sudden, I just kind of like stopped. When life catches up with you, you sometimes let life overwhelm you, and you stop doing what you need to do. I know many people have experienced that. People experience that today, and they will continue to experience that, because this one guy that I met at a church just like 15 years ago, he told me life begins after you have made all your plans. And I said, yeah, that's right. But so I was at this coffee shop in the San Francisco Bay Area, and I was just working on something. I always know I need to pick up the phone and call people, and that would be, chipping away. I mean, I always know I have to do that. Nobody buys my product based on social media. I have this product or service, which is a 6-hour webinar on how to increase your sales performance and sales productivity. But as you can imagine, no one will admit without any type of first contact or influence that they need to improve their sales. I mean, it might be 1 out of 100 that person is sitting there going, I need to improve my sales, and I need to pick up the phone and call Clarence because I saw his videos and podcasts. And I have over 1,000 podcast episodes that stretch back probably 12 years. I had to delete some of them because the quality was not good enough. And then I added some background music to some because it was a few people that were trying to pirate the information. So I had to cut back on what I was saying. But so I was sitting there and I was like, yeah, I need to do something, but I'll do it tomorrow, But I've always been chipping away, but procrastination is one of the biggest demons for people who need to take action in their business. So I was sitting at this coffee shop in the Bay Area, and this guy sat pretty close to me, like maybe two chairs over. And I just started the conversation. I said, hey man, how's it going? Blah, blah, blah. Look at the fog rolling in the San Francisco area. And we started chatting. And he told me that he had a floor tiling business where the ticket price was like $3,000, $4,000 minimum. He puts floor tiling, also puts the coating on garage floors so that the floor is super smooth, hopefully not slick, because I did slip on one of those garages that had some slick coating. But he was a very professional guy. He was a Ukrainian guy. And he asked me what I did. I said, I'm a business development specialist. I teach people how to use sales systems to improve their business. And this guy said, sales systems? He goes, I've heard so much about that term, that phrase, sales systems. But I have been unable to find someone who could show me what that is. I mean, he went to YouTube, he went to a lot of different social media platforms, and what he found was people that were mainly motivational speakers. And just to let people know, yours truly is not a motivational speaker. However, I do believe that motivational speaking does help after you have acquired the skills that you need. So the skill comes first, then the motivation. but a lot of people that you may find online or on YouTube will do the motivational thing first. And what happens after the motivational part is over, you fall back down to earth and you still don't know what you need to do because you have not acquired the skills. So this guy said, can you tell me what a sales system is? So I started talking about it. I asked him a few questions, and that was the most important thing. Now, I could have given him 20 minutes about sales systems. But what I did, and this is what I talk about in the training, in the 6-hour webinar training, is that you need to ask a lot of questions from people so that you're on the right track. To talk about something and not know the frame of reference where someone is very detrimental to your business. I mean, we talk about that in the training class. So I asked him a few questions, and I'll just give you one question I asked him. I said, when you call someone, do you tell them the price of your product or service when the potential customer asks? He says, yes. And I said, how is that working out? And he said, it's been like 1% of the people that he communicates the pricing for his services actually say yes. He was like, well, why wouldn't they say yes after I tell them what my price is? And I said, it's because when you mention your price, they are associating what they need for, I mean, they are associating what they need for your price. And they think that perhaps your price is too high because they're thinking that what they need is very simplistic. And there's no communication about the quality of what they need. When you tell the person your price, so it's almost like deep sea fishing when there's like only one fish in the ocean. And I explained that to him, and I said, that's the reason why starting the conversation with price is so ineffective. It's because you have not learned all their needs, what they're looking for, the quality of the work, what type of challenges they have had when they have used inferior vendors. And he was like, oh my gosh, that's it. I've been doing something wrong the whole time. Long story short, he became a client, and we met at the coffee shop like 2 or 3 days for like 2 or 3 hours a piece. And this guy was very excited about his business. But to wrap up this episode, you are closer than you think, but just don't think, do. What that means, again, and I can probably add more to it, is if you are in a city, I'll give you an example. If you are in a pretty decent sized town like Tampa, Orlando, Houston, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, Boise, Idaho, Seattle, the number one thing you can do to start chipping away and not turning around and stopping before you get to the goal is to start talking to people. Another thing you can do is start recording yourself about how you feel about your business. In other words, when someone says, hey, Doug, tell me about your business, you have to be able to communicate what you do in your business in a way that it sounds like you know what you're doing, but not necessarily the task or the components of your business. But you have to be able to talk about it in a way that a person would be attracted to not just your words and components of your business, but to you. So I just want to end this podcast episode by saying that. And, don't stop. You are closer than you think, but don't just think about it, do it. My name is Clarence Napier, multi-state insurance broker and CEO of Strategic Consulting Experts. And then the last part you may see here, we do have a print and digital unique magazine that's about to launch. And just stay tuned to the episodes, and soon we will be on iTunes video. Take care. Have a great day.